Good morning. Well, we can do better than that. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, there it is. Everybody have their coffee yet? No, it's 11. And by my time, it's 2 o'clock, so I'm feeling wide awake. My name's Steve Simmons, and I'm the CIO for Astrum Solar. We're a residential solar installer based off the East Coast, but now nationwide. We were recently acquired by Direct Energy, which is a much, much larger company than us. And so now we're Astrum Solar, a Direct Energy company. Because of that, I now need to make a safe harbor because we're publicly traded. So this may include forward-looking statements and obviously make your own choices. I'm the CIO. I started with Astrum Solar back in 2010. And right after it kicked off, and part of the mission of Astrum Solar is to go out and put PV solar panels on rooftops across America to help people save on the utility bills and to go green and become their own clean energy power producers. And that means that for us, the biggest thing we want to see is your old electric bill get to be a lower number and you be able to save money on a monthly basis. We're both technology and financing agnostic, which means that we at any given point in time have a good, better, best offering, and we have a whole bunch of different ways that you can go solar. You can purchase your solar panels, you can lease your solar panels, you can get a power purchase agreement in the states that allow it. And now actually we've just launched a 20-year unsecured solar loan where you can actually own the system, get all the benefits of owning the system, like the tax credits, and still have that zero down and low monthly payment just like you would have had with a lease. So in order to do this, we started in 2010 kind of looking at our systems saying, if we want to grow a fast-growing company, we were number 2 on the Inc. 500 in 2012, how are we going to do that? And in order to do that, we need to have a scalable, sustainable system. And we wanted a system that would give us that single view of the truth. We want to have a master data record that it starts as a lead coming into our company. We find out about somebody, their phone number, maybe their address, and then we want that to grow over time and improve the company's ability to operate. And we don't want to have 14 different systems that have to integrate to each other. We want to have a single system, a single view of the truth. And we actually chose Salesforce as our platform of choice. And so we've built our entire business end-to-end on the Salesforce platform. The front office, the back office, and everything in between is built on the Salesforce platform. And that means that we've got our custom software for our project managers written on Salesforce. And we also have AppExchange vendors plugged right into that same master data record. And so whether it's working with marketing automation like Marketo, or it's working in the back office with Financial Force and Rootstock, or it's doing things that are specific to the solar industry that we had to build ourselves, the Salesforce platform was that basis for that single view of the truth. So when you come into as a customer with Astrum Solar, we find out about you, and then we'll be able to serve you. Everybody who you talk to will have that same record. They'll know when we talked to you last. We'll know everything about your system. We'll know, when we installed you, and we'll be able to deal with you whether it's a lead with the marketing team, or it's during the sale with our sales team, or it's during operations and the install, and we're putting the solar panels on your roof, or for the 20 to 30-year customer life cycle after the installation, where we are making sure we're supporting you and getting your SREC payments and other things processed throughout your life cycle as a customer. So everything is built on the Salesforce platform. And but when I came on in 2010, that wasn't true yet. And we're a QuickBooks company like so many other startups. And we were starting to, as we were starting to grow, that became an issue. We were looking for something that was going to be scalable, where we could build out our entire business and we could grow up into being a mid-market enterprise, maybe even into a large enterprise without having to do multiple integrations. And as some of you may know, the mid-market is kind of the worst solved space in the industry. You have a lot of small business solutions out there, like the QuickBooks of the world, and you have a lot of large enterprise solutions that for $2.5 million, $5 million, you can put in Oracle Financials or SAP. But that mid-market, trying to get from small to big is not a well-solved solution until now. And so with Salesforce, you can start as small as you want to start. You can buy one license and start up your business, collecting customer information and building out the apps. And the AppExchange has, over 2,000 apps now that are out-of-the-box, pre-integrated, easy-to-implement solutions for all sorts of problems, including our GL, which we use, Financial Force. And the beauty of it is in a matter of a month, you can put Financial Force into place, and that financial system is going to be integrated to your customer record. That same lead that came in, you now can keep track of all of your billings for. You can keep track of what you've sold them and how that's impacted your profit. And we were able to import all of our QuickBooks data into our Financial Force data. So moving forward, we have a longitudinal view of our business. We have the ability to report all the way back to the beginning of the business. And it gives us the flexibility to automate things on the Salesforce platform. So where if we'd been in QuickBooks, we would have been telling people, all right, now go out and create an invoice, and that would have been an email to somebody in accounting. I can now have my project management software go to a key milestone in the project and say, when we reach this milestone, fire off an invoice. And we send just a little insert signal over to the invoice object in Financial Force, and voila, an invoice appears. Right? And so because it's all on the same platform, it's aware, you have that single view of the truth, you have that master data record, you're able to do things that in a multi-system environment you wouldn't be able to do. So we're talking about warehouse management, and Financial Force is great for a GL, but its inventory side wasn't really there, and so we got Rootstock software in as our MRP and inventory supply chain purchasing system and work capacity planning system. And it's another one where we looked at all the different apps in the AppExchange, and there are a bunch that do basic inventory controls, but we're a manufacturing company in a sense. We're actually a design and build construction firm, so there's a little bit of a mapping to do there. But the big thing was we wanted to be able to do material planning. We wanted to be able to say, all right, we've got all sorts of things we need to line up in order to get a solar installation on the roof. We need to be able to get all the filings with the permit jurisdictions. We need to file with the federal government and the state government, get all the paperwork lined up. We also have to make sure we have the labor to go out and do the installation, both electricians and installation resources that line up at the same time. And we have to make sure that whatever the panel is that customer ordered, because remember, we're all custom design and build, is there and available for that customer on the day we scheduled to install. And so we were really looking for that material resource planning feature, and Rootstock was the leading player, if not the only player in the AppExchange that could do that for us. And so it comes pre-integrated to Financial Force, so our GL and our inventory talk to each other, and they hand off all the journal entries right on time to let our accountants know where the money is and how our balance sheet should look and all that. And so we picked Rootstock, and then we wanted to go one layer beyond that, is what we're talking about today, which is the mobile warehouse. And so we have all of our footprint, we have built out by having a regional operations center that has a warehouse and then a small office space. And there will be a local warehouse manager who also is the one scheduling our field teams to go out and go, and they're responsible for checking in and out all the inventory. And Rootstock has that functionality built into it. But we wanted to use a hardened device, our Intermec scanners that can be dropped on the floor, can be pitched over the wall and still work, and that our robust device is working on in our warehouses over the Wi-Fi so that you can go anywhere. And our general principle for infrastructure, one of the reasons we're so flexible and scalable, is we've built our entire infrastructure in the cloud. And so I can fire up a new office, a new operations center, simply by getting an internet connection and a firewall router with a wireless access point, and now that office has availability to all of our systems because they're all in Salesforce, right? And so we wanted to have that same experience for the warehouse managers. I can ship out an Intermec device, it gets on the Wi-Fi, it hops into Salesforce, and goes. Now, while there are a growing number of hardened, actual, industry-ready scanner devices that are built out on Android, and there is some limited support of Android in Salesforce 1, it wasn't really there yet when we went to build it out, and it's still not really fully there yet today. And so the question was, how are we going to make it so that these hardened, ready-to-go industrial scanners we want to use in our warehouse, how are we going to get those connected into Salesforce? And we found a great partner in Auto ID Specialties, and I highly recommend them to anyone who's looking to do follow in our footsteps and get mobile warehouse management. And they brought us up to speed on this application called Mobile Frame, which integrates between Salesforce and the Intermec device. So there's a native application that is installed on your Intermec scanners, and then you can actually deploy mobile applications right to the scanners that will use all the native interfaces to get a hold of the imaging devices and whatnot. And where the Intermec really shines is that its imaging engine is incredibly fast. So where you might think, oh, well, I've got my iPhone, I'll just go out and do a warehouse, try running a full-bore industrial warehouse on an iPhone all day, and you'll discover that it's not really a robust device for that use. It's just too slow and just can't handle it. And when you drop it, it has issues, or when you bend it, it has issues, as it may be. The Intermec, you can try to bend if you want, but it's not going anywhere. And so Mobile Frame is an application framework, and it's got its own kind of language to it. But its big claim to fame is that once you get Auto ID Specialties kind of implement you in the first place, you can actually go in after the fact, and a business user can actually make tweaks. So for instance, we did a division-to-division transfer, and they put that into our app, and then one of my users was like, could I do a location-to-location transfer? And I'm like, I don't know, take a look. He took a look, and in about a day, he made a tweak to the app, added that transaction, and it went through. So how does Rootstock work with this? Well, it works great. Rootstock has a feature where you can go in and take the example of a PO. We're going to receive a PO. And you go into the desktop version of Rootstock, you choose the PO you want to receive, and it prints out this PO receiving sheet with all the barcodes intact, ready for your scanner to go. And then here's a screenshot of what the Mobile Frame app looks like on the Intermec. And you can see how there's the PO number, the packing slip number, the PO line number, the item number, and the quantity. And all of those are open entry items, so if something has changed or you want to look up something, you can do it right there from your Intermec device in the warehouse. You don't have to go back to your laptop, you don't have to go back to your desktop, you don't have to go back to your iPad. It's all right there in the scanner. And Mobile Frame is syncing that in the background. But if you're just doing a straight up receipt, you just take your scanner and you're scanning, here's the PO number, here's the line number, here's the item number, and here's the quantity. Or you could scan everything other than the quantity and say, well, only 342 came in. And so scan the 342 quantity in at the bottom, and then hit receive, and that's going to go through to Salesforce, and voila, we got our mobile warehouse management. So this is today. This is where Salesforce lets us be today. And the great power of Salesforce is that it has all the enterprise web services and other interfaces where Mobile Frame can sync the data, and it can pull the data out of Salesforce, you can push the data into Salesforce, and you can maintain your transactional integrity across from your Intermec data into the Mobile Frame server, which is a back end, and into Salesforce. But I look at that and I go, well, this is great. This is definitely an operable solution. We're using it today, and it works phenomenally well. But it means that now I have a data center somewhere, and I have the Salesforce cloud. And when I look at Salesforce, I'm going to just put out there what I'm advocating for is I want the future to be that I have mobile warehouses purely on Salesforce One, that the Salesforce platform starts to realize the use cases around the industrial side, the manufacturing side, the design and build construction side. They start realizing that people are using Salesforce for more than just a CRM, more than just a marketing tool, more than just a sales side. And that we're using it for the front office, we're using it for the back office. And the devices that they support today are iOS and Android. And I'd love for them to expand to Windows CE and some of the others that are being used in the warehouses every day, start to support the native interfaces that you're needing for Intermec and for the other industrial applications, and let us continue that vision of Salesforce One with the Internet of Things and all the connected devices, and help us get data, the real data we're using to run our business every day into Salesforce. So that's my pitch. So I'd like to take a little bit of time to answer any questions you have. I realize that was kind of a quick speed through, but I wanted to leave a little bit of time if there were any questions. Okay.
Just on your last point there, have you gotten any feedback from Salesforce on that?
So Salesforce is very engaged. We're actually doing, I can't actually say that. Yeah, Salesforce is very supportive of us doing the front office and the back office on the Salesforce platform. They've been very supportive, and the platform is continuing to evolve and move in really exciting directions. I think you're going to see a lot of great stuff with the Heroku acquisition continuing to come in tighter and tighter, and some really fun stuff coming down the road. So I think Salesforce has definitely caught the vision. It's just a matter of time and energy. But I can't speak for Salesforce because I don't work for them. But from my viewpoint, it looks like it's very promising.
I was just curious if you could talk a little bit more about sort of from a business metrics perspective, the before and after, sort of pre-solution, post-solution, some of the efficiencies, maybe,
Sure.
if you have numbers to wrap around that you can share.
So it used to take a, go ahead. Oh.
Oh, sorry, that was very loud.
That's right. I'm supposed to be using the microphone.
I was just asking if Stephen could wrap some of the business metrics around the before and after scenario. So, before the solution was in place and afterwards.
So the what we used to do is we had the internet scanners. We got them early on, and we used to scan all of the receipts into Pocket Excel, and then we'd export the CSV and then upload it into Rootstock. And our folks were probably spending 2 to 4 hours a day managing just the scanning and processing. And that's come down to about 25% of that at this point. So with the mobile warehouse where you only have to scan once and then it's in, they're probably spending between 45 minutes and an hour a day managing the inventory in and out of our warehouses. So it was a big change.
Thanks. So my question is, outside of the scanner and the sort of middleware application, are any of your employees using Salesforce One on phones and tablets to do other kinds of transactions directly into Rootstock?
Got it. So directly into Rootstock, no. Directly into Salesforce, yes. Our project management application, which all of our field managers are using in the field to make sure we're collecting the right documentation and getting the pictures of the houses and putting through the designs and everything else like that, is on Salesforce One, and you can take pictures from that and straight into Salesforce. And I'm hopeful that in the future we're going to be able to do similar things like that with Rootstock as well. But the big limitation there is not Rootstock or the software. The big limitation there is the device support on Salesforce One, right? So Rootstock's there today, but I don't want to be in the warehouse with my Android or my iPhone. I want to be in there with a hardened, ready-to-go industrial device.
I believe you showed that scanning piece, right? But before that comes the printing piece. Okay, so that's one element. How does application would support that? And another related one is, how about the total cost of implementation? Which buckets you see, including the licenses, or if any?
So I can't obviously speak to the pricing on Rootstock, but right here, Pat Garrahy or Dave Stevens are both on the Rootstock team, and I'm sure they'd love to speak to you. I can tell you that you think of ERP implementations as taking 12, 18, 24 months, and our implementation from pilot to go live was 5 months. And so it is a very, very cost-efficient thing. And I can tell you that the costs of doing this as compared to a similar power tool you'd be competing with, like an Oracle or with an SAP, it's a fraction of the cost. Financial Force and Rootstock put together are a fraction of the cost of their big-time competitors. So the difference is this isn't a QuickBooks clone. This isn't a lightweight little small business solution. This is an enterprise solution written to take people from small business into the enterprise.
You said mobile warehouse. Could you explain that?
Sure. Mobile warehouse. Our goal is to not have to have servers on site, to not have to have on-premise systems on site, and to be able to take a device that all it needs is a wireless connection, either cellular or Wi-Fi, and be able to manage our entire infrastructure like that. And so the mobile warehouse, obviously we're not picking up the warehouse and moving it around, but we can deploy a warehouse with just a mobile device is the goal, and what we have achieved. Got a minute and a half left. Any last question?
Are you using Rootstock for manufacturing process data collection on the floor?
Are we using Rootstock for manufacturing process data collection on the floor? So like I said, we're a design and build construction firm. We're doing custom build every single time. And so we kind of map into the manufacturing process. There is a similarity. We have a bill of materials, and we are making sure that it's available and doing planning for it, and then going out and routing that for our operations. We have very simple routing. You need an electrical routing, and you need to install routing, so you get the panels, you get the electrical connection. Rootstock has all that functionality, so you can do the full manufacturing. It's a full discrete manufacturing app. We use a fraction of its power for design and build construction because it's a much simpler problem to solve. But it's all there.
Are you reporting labor?
We are, yep. We do labor booking. We actually built our own labor booking app, and then Rootstock provided us an API so we could book that labor through Rootstock and into Financial Force for capturing job costs. And I'm getting the whatever, but yes, absolutely. We do book all of our labor, so Rootstock is our job costing system as well. All right, well, thanks very much, and have a great Dreamforce.